Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Paul. This is It's a Camping Thing, and in this video we're going to be looking at the reasons why I believe you should go out and purchase the Naturehike Opalus 3 tent. So for my first reason why I think you should purchase the Naturehike Opalus 3 is down to pack size. And for comparison for this, I'm going to be using my Naturehike Cloud Peak 2, which is a two-person tent, which is a two-door configuration with two vestibules either side. This is the Naturehike Opalus 3, which is a three-person tent with a larger porch or vestibule on the front, again with two doors. As you can see, there's not a lot of difference in it, considering that this is a three-person tent and this is a two-person tent. So yeah, there we go. And weight difference as well. The Cloud Peak 2 is 2.4 kilos and the Opalus 3 is 2.7 kilos. Now, with a tent of this size, if this was a bit much for you to carry and you're going to be going with somebody else, you could split the pack down. So somebody has maybe the fly sheet and somebody else has the poles, and you can split it between you like that. But there's really not a lot of difference, considering this is a two-person and that's a three-person tent. And that's my first reason. My second reason for purchasing the Naturehike Opalus 3 is the all-included footprint. There's two very good reasons why I think that these are fantastic. The first one is they offer a barrier between the ground and your tent, offering some protection, admittedly not bulletproof. However, they do offer some protection between the ground and your tent. And secondly, moisture in the ground. It accumulates and you don't want to get moisture on your tent. So it keeps that moisture at bay, which means the drying process is much quicker. So there we go. That's my second reason why I think you should purchase the Opalus 3 tent. For my third reason why I think you should purchase the Naturehike Opalus 3 is easy to set up. It's incredibly easy to set up this tent. There are three poles, they are colour coded, they are blue at the rear, silver in the middle and blue at the front. There's a few guide ropes, they are essential to set this up so there's no sag in the middle of the tent. But yeah, it is incredibly easy to set up on your own. For my fourth reason, it is two doors. I'm entering through one side of the vestibule and I can come through and I can come out on the other side, which is brilliant. Now, another reason I like about this is the fact that if you get to your campsite, or maybe you're going wild camping, and maybe you've got to a really scenic area, then you can sit inside your vestibule and admire your wonderful surroundings. And for that, that's my fourth reason. For my fifth reason, it's this, the vestibule or porch area. It is humongous. It is really a luxury. You've got plenty of room in here. If you wanted to, you could sleep in here, but personally for me, I would use it for a space for cooking if the rain comes along. Obviously have one of the doors open for ventilation for safety reasons, but yeah, if the weather turns nasty, then you can come in here and you can chill out, you can relax and just save the bedroom for sleeping in, which for me is awesome. For me, I would use this for storing my clothes, maybe my food, obviously in sealed bags, but yeah, I think that this puts it head and shoulders above the competition. I really do. And the fact that I'm kneeling down right now and my head isn't even touching the ceiling, I think is a wonderful, wonderful feature. For my sixth reason is the rear ventilation. This is an incredible feature and features on the three-person version of this Naturehike Opalus tent. Now what you do is you unclip at the bottom where the peg is, and then simply roll it up. And then reach on the sides of the elastic, and there's a little hook. Pull that onto the guide rope top. Roll this one up like that. Reach in again, elastic, there we go. Now you've got plenty of ventilation here for the tent to breathe. So there's the porch from earlier on. You see inside the bedroom, now you've got this huge area for ventilation, so air can breathe in a lot easier. Now obviously this means that this part of the tent is now not waterproof, so if it does start to rain, then obviously you're going to have to bring down the fly. But this is great if you've got a lovely hot summer's day and you want to lay in bed and just watch the world go by. For my seventh reason, it is the colour green. The forest green on this blends in brilliantly for wild camping. Now, obviously right now I'm in my garden, but you can see from the colour of the grass and the hedge behind how well it does actually blend in to the greens of the environment. Now, if I'm going to be going wild camping, then obviously I want to become discreet as possible. This is obviously a 3-person tent, so it's quite large, but I think the colour itself lends itself well to going wild camping where you want to blend in a little bit better with your surroundings. Now, I've not used this tent before on wild camping, but I have used the Naturehike Cloud Peak 2 when I've been wild camping, and that's exactly the same colour, and that blended in really well when you're going wild camping. So yeah, my seventh reason is the forest green colour. For my eighth reason, it is the size that you've got in here. As you can see, feet are down one end. You've got plenty of headroom still to play with. Incredible. And as it's a 3-person tent, you've got plenty of room for 2 other people. It's a great size tent. For my ninth reason, it's down to price, which can vary depending on the time of the year and obviously your location. But here in the UK right now, you can find it between prices of £179 and £265, depending on where you purchase it from. So please shop around. But for that price point, you are getting a 3-person tent that wouldn't be out of place at either a campsite or wild camping. And I think for that price, it represents very good value for money. For my 10th reason why I think you should purchase the Opalus 3 is a little tip that I found out not that long ago, and it does mean some adjustment on the guide rope, so just bear with me a minute. But what we're going to do is we're going to move the central guidelines forward. That's the first thing. So bring them forward on either side. Adding some tension, and then we unclip the front guidelines and the front pegs like that, and then the front pole, the blue one, we unhook and we slide that through and out. Like that. Place that to one side for now. And then what we can do is we can roll this front section up. Put it up, and then we can put it over that middle silver pole section. And basically what that means is when I want to get my bedding in or out, I don't have to go through a central door. It means I can clearly and easily reach inside and get my bedding this way rather than pull it out and then have to go through a small door at either side. So that is my 10th reason why I think you should purchase the Naturehike Opalus 3. For my first negative feature about the tent is a minor quibble, and that is the fact there is no light hook at this end of the tent. So if somebody wanted to sleep with the head at this end of the tent, unfortunately there's no light hook. There is only one light hook, which is just up here as you enter the bedroom area. But it is only a minor quibble. One other negative aspect of this tent is ventilation, or condensation if you like. You've got one ventilation port at the front here, which sadly doesn't stay open like that, but you can close it with a Velcro like that, if in case it absolutely pours it down. But unfortunately there's no sort of stick there to kind of keep it wide open. So that's one ventilation port. And if we go around to the rear, you can see actually, as I go around, you've got the blue pole at the front, silver in the middle, and blue again at the rear. So the blue ones are identical, so it doesn't matter if you get them mixed up. And then we've got the other ventilation port at the back here, again Velcro, and that is all the ventilation you've got. But if you wanted to and you've got a problem with ventilation, then you can, like I showed you earlier, you can open up the rear, or if you're going to let it dry for the day, you can open up the front. But yeah, just 2 vents at the front and rear. So there we are, there's the Naturehike Opalus 3 and the reasons why I believe you should purchase the tent, and a few reasons why probably there's better alternatives out there. For me, personally, my opinion, it's a tent I really, really love. It's a tent which I looked at time and time again and kept being drawn back to it over and over again. I thought, you know what, I've got to purchase this tent. And the more I've used it, the more I've loved it. It's a tent which will suit both campsite camping and wild camping. It blends in well with its environment. It's a large tent. It is a little bit on the heavy side, so if you are going to be going wild camping, then maybe you want to go with somebody else to share that load out. But there's not really a lot to fault on it, and I really can't think of many reasons why you wouldn't want to purchase this tent, but I can think of plenty of reasons why you might want to subscribe to the channel. So please consider liking, leaving a comment and subscribing to the channel and clicking on the bell icon to notify of all future video releases. We've got a lot of videos coming up in the near future. We'll be going out campsite camping and wild camping again, and I'm really looking forward to that, and I hope you join me for those trips. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.